still in range. Hold on, engineer squad perishes. Conscript running on in. Urad, not enough. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17. Welcome to Game 2 of the semifinals in the upper bracket with Paul and Noggano. Last game, Noggano won the game through map control, even though he was losing quite a number of the battles, honestly, to Paul's skills. Now, we'll see if Paul this time is able to keep control of the map a little better and maybe continue that pressure on Noggano, or Noggano continues the passive pressure via just the ticking clock of the VPs. Time to find out. Noggano's gone austere. Paul has gone Soviet. Paul has gone urban defense. Very curious. Alrighty. Again, both these doctrines haven't seen really used in force. You've mainly seen other doctrines, so it's nice to see this one. Noggano going Ostrupen. So if you like your Ostrupen, boy oh boy, you're about to get your hopefully you'll get your fill. Anyway, Ostrupen are very good defensive infantry in my opinion. Not great on assault as they get bonuses in cover, and also they're cheaper and a little weaker than your base grenadiers. So usually you have to use them in bulk, similar to a conscript. So we'll see how he uses these in force. But again, Noggano grabbing as much territory as possible. Remember, this is a 1v1. We're back on Amilly fields. And like I said before, Noggano currently has one win. One more, he continues on. Conscript grabbing the fuel right now as well. We have Conscript grabbing the other side. And yeah, Engineers grabbing the VP on the right. So good job, Soviets. Again, 3 Conscripts this time and an Engineer. Let's see right now. Conscripts as well moving on in. Noggano saving up for something. He currently has 300 manpower, or is maybe waiting for... No, cooldown's active. He should be good. MG going in to suppress the conscripts, but a second squad's coming in from behind. So even though he gets suppressed, even though he's behind green cover and a tractor, we'll see how this goes. More Ostrupen coming on in. Oh boy. Ostrupen trying to hold against the conscripts, but having some issues. Conscripts actually getting some, it looks like, better cover, and the Ostrupen are gonna have some issues. Unfortunately, even though like conscripts are like notoriously known for like losing engagements because they're weaker infantry compared to other Germans, Ostrupen are even weaker than that. So again, he's going to be very careful on how he does those engagements. Looks like the MG had to reposition. The conscript squad got suppressed and pulled back, and he's just been hovering with that one on the side. This squad's moving on in. Conscript might go to intercept. Right now we have a conscript over here. Pioneers actually managed to drive them off. Good job after they combated the Ostrupen. Not a clean cut victory. Definitely was a lot weaker, but still. Oh, by the way, I'm not saying that they're weak. I'm just saying just overall when compared to base infantry, that's why it's like people are like so fervent about conscripts getting that extra man squad or something, just because of the fact they weren't hitting the same ratio as other squads in this game. But that being said, again, they're not weak. They have their own design purpose and specials, again, like reinforcing stuff like that. But I am just pointing out the fact that in a 1v1 fight, conscripts will outpace Ostrupen. So again, Noggano, curious to see what he does. But once again, Noggano holding VP map control. So excellent job there, suppressing the conscripts as well. So very close, very good job. Ostrupen grabbing territory as well as the fuel over here, though Engineers grabbing the right side, so very interesting to see. Conscripts and Engineers currently in mid, while Ostrupen and MG come in to suppress. Hopefully the Engineer can move around. Doesn't look like there's anything that can come and reinforce as of yet, so if the Engineer can get around and hit that MG, that would be a very nice play. Conscripts unable to make that cover, now have to hide behind a half-made one. Additional conscripts going around on the far left. Engineers coming on the MG. Flanking Noggano, excellent move right there. Trying to burn him, but the Ostrupen is still there. Conscripts, unfortunately, being held off by Ostrupen in the north, building cover. MG is placed. Again, no Soviet. Wait, no conscript coming on in. I think he's just trying to suppress that in time. Once again, the tractor does not provide suppression support. Conscript coming on in, though, might be able to drive back the MG if they're lucky. Although, half track coming on in could reinforce. Another Austrian squad as well comes on in. I don't think Paul's going to win this battle. He's going to pull on back and immediately retreat back to base. And Noggano deciding, no, I'm not going to reinforce with this thing. I'm going to burn the Soviets down with my flamethrower. We'll see if that's effective. Again, right now, no AT grenades, no AT. Half track with the flamethrower would be pretty much OP at this point in the game. I don't think Paul's placed many mines either. Flamethrower is now active, burning the conscripts. Austrian as well, putting pressure on him. Half track giving chase. The question is, can he finish him off? Very close to. He's outside the base with 2 models. 1 model remaining. And he's going to stay back. Does not get the kill, but does pretty much everything he possibly can to make sure it goes down. AT grenade immediately picked. And I fully suspect that we might see Paul go with a special weapon Campania just to keep things competitive. Because, yeah, you need something like that to combat this. Otherwise, Noggano might actually keep him in his base with the half-track if he does a good enough job. We shall see. Conscript might try to go in for an AT grenade. Doesn't Ura, he's not the highest on munitions. He's also going to take a lot more AT grenades. MG as well guarding. This is a tough spot for Paul. A very tough spot indeed. Oh my god. He deploys the 45mm AT gun. The once memed AT gun that is now decent. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it now suits its purpose. It is his last and only hope. But MG is currently keeping it in the base. Oh my god. This is going to be rough. 45mm is firing. Gets a good shot on target. Still in range. Hold on. Engineer squad perishes. Conscript running on in. Ura, not enough. Still needs to close the gap. Under fire from the flamethrower. Can he close the distance? 5 models. 4. And does. Panzer Grenadier's trying to come in as well. Kills the half track. And, but the Germans are still keeping him closed in the base. Noggano. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Is he going to lose a squad? Oh my god, gets back in one piece. But Paul using all of his resources to try to have some competitive counterattack coming on in. AT gun with 2 models remaining. Might actually want to switch to, you know, anti-infantry. That could be a little beneficial to combat this. Tellermine being placed down again in case we see a T-70 or something along those lines. But Paul right now doesn't have the resources to really uptick as much as he probably, or as much as Noggano is planning for, but not bad to plan ahead. Right now he needs to grab that territory. He's slowly counterattacking. But we're talking about a player that literally had 1 capture point, no capture points, and pretty much stuck in his base. Paul has a lot of work to do to kind of counteract. We'll see if he's able to do that. Noggano enjoying all those resources, all the munitions, and getting another half track in the meantime. Again, this time he's not like literally trying to contain a base. He's gonna hopefully try to hit him an overextending Soviet player. Although Panzer Grenadiers might get knocked out by the shock troops. Bundle Grenade goes for the conscripts, only gets 1 model. Shock troops doing a ton of damage. Hold on though. Shock troops trying to guard the conscripts, but unfortunately the Austrian take it out, and conscripts come in to try to finish them off. Alas, no units killed for Noggano, but Paul definitely losing some of his troops. Not looking great, but MG does get neutralized. That is an MG-42, not a bad steal. Half track, I'm assuming going for a flamethrower attachment again, or maybe just healing. We'll see. MG being set up. A half track trying to dissuade the shock troops by trying to run them over. Won't do it, but we'll try to push them away. Shock troops though getting the cover. Oh my god, Austrian gonna have a rough day, and immediately has to retreat. MG suppresses. Decent grenade, hits quite a number of models and forces them back. Alright, now we have the fuel back under, or almost back under Paul's control. Conscripts going over the fuel on the left, so it's a double fuel cap. Paul going with what? Nothing. Paul does not have anything. He has no additional bases. Nothing. That's risky. We're 10 minutes in the game and still... and I'm just saying that as a point that he may not have the ability to, but I'm just saying the longer he does, the more it's going to be. Knowing if we have a... Oh, boy. We have a base over here, which is why the fuel went down. So for those who don't know about the forward base, well, you get yourself a forward headquarters. It's 40 fuel, 250 manpower, and it does heal everything, the proximity. Plus, you can rally defenses to hold the line. Not a terrible idea, especially if you want to like boost up shock troops and stuff like that to really make them like very powerful. But to again, to counter that, you have to destroy the building. If only the Germans had some way to burn the building down. So he has to be very careful about that. That half-track could be his ultimate... That could be his kryptonite, essentially. 45mm AT on standby. Right open fire against the half-track. Troops coming on in. Paul's not done yet. Shock troops coming on in on the Osttroop. Making quick work of them. Shredding them. And now heading back. 45mm AT on the right. I don't know if the half-track realizes that. He is backing on up. MG as well. You might have to worry about that. If he gets armor-piercing rounds, he can make very quick work of that half-track. I love how he's being so cautious about that. He's trying to fire at range. MG is firing, though. Again, the closer it gets to veterancy, the better off it'll be. 45mm gets an excellent shot, though. Pioneer's going after it. It is currently do or die for Paul to stay up in the upper tier. And he's doing everything possible to do exactly that. Additional shock troops coming on in. Once again, no base, so we're still stuck with this. Meanwhile, Noggano, I've not really talked about him in terms of his upscaling. He's already upscaled the Battle Phase 2, and he's gotten a Tier 3 building. Half-track as well, moving left. I'm assuming try to get around that AT gun, though, again, still has to worry. Oh, no, he's going for the shock troops, though. Looks like they'll dodge the bundle, although taking a lot of health damage. Throws a grenade, runs. Half-track is... Oh, gets hit by the grenade. That's amazing. I don't think he intended that, but that's pretty incredible. Conscripts on standby. Could rush in for an AT grenade. And might... Hold on. Does get the kill. Half-track trying to look like a boss going in backwards. Fortunately, conscripts hit it from behind and quickly neutralize it. Very lucky. And once again, Paul's still in this fight. And not just that, he's gaining... a lot of resources and putting the pressure back on Noggano for the VPs with a double VP cap. Slowly gaining up resources. MG as well looking the wrong direction, though again, it's acceptable for that. Engineers coming on in. Shock troops hang backwards. Probably should be hanging forwards. Conscript, though, trying to help. They rally defenses. Again, that's no munitions to do that. And he's just trying to hold the point. Ostwind, though, that's a bit of an issue. So that 45mm is going to have to do some extra work now. As you can see, it's not exactly the high damage dealer the Soviets probably want, but it does have a good fire rate. Brings it down a third. Shock troops not taking too much damage, though. Again, he's probably going to go over and stop these conscripts. Though 1 AT grenade and the Ostwind will pretty much be out of action. It will take forever for the Ostwind to like, slowly make his way down. So I think he realized that. Oh, wait, no. Conscripts retreated. Again, he would have to stay at range in order to really do that. Oh my god. Paul's like, who needs to have additional bases? I can do everything with call-in units. And he does. Additional 45mm being called in. Oh, and yeah, the Panzergrenades died from the shock troops. Thank you for the... Again, sometimes they miss stuff, unfortunately. Anyway, MG currently hitting them on the way out as well. Map control-wise, very nice job. Conscripts get the cutoff. Engineers trying to get him back to operational status. Noggano, once containing Paul in his base, is now unable to finish him off and is now being cut off himself, not getting a ton of resources, where Paul is now finally getting a decent income and also a stable ground. That forward base, that one building, the shack in the middle of the battlefield, is allowing the Soviets to be extremely competitive against Noggano and hold a majority of the map in terms of population on the field. Shock troops coming on in to hopefully make quick work of the Pioneers, and they do exactly that, forcing them back, going for the cutoff once again. Ostwind, though, I'm assuming is going... Oh, wait, no, Ostwind's currently in mid. MG overextended a little, I believe. AT guns are not in position, though they're now firing at the Ostwind. MG trying to get on up, but I think it's too little too late. I think he'll lose that MG, which is unfortunate because it is Vet 2. He is hanging back to base. He's making the attempt. Oh, nope. Osttroop do get the kill. Grenade, possibly, hold on. Making sure something. Yep, shock troops kill a friendly conscript, but I guess that's fine if it's for the Rodina. They do make it back. They do re-equip the MG with conscripts and should be able to reinforce. But yeah, so very, very nice job. All right, Panzer Grenadiers coming on in. Again, going to be a bit of an issue. The more veterancy these shock troops get, the more terrifying it's going to be to combat them, even with Panzer Grenadiers, unless you get a lucky bundle. All right, but Paul has finally, 15 minutes in the game, he's like, you know what, support Weapon Campagna. I'll get it. And honestly, now we can probably slowly take up to Tier 3, then Tier 4, and get that. Noggano, on the other hand, is probably furious, not getting a ton of fuel right now. Unfortunately, he's unable to get anything other than a Stug or an Ostwind. He already has an Ostwind, so most likely he's going to skip that and save up to a Panzer IV, which will be another probably minute and a half, 2 minutes away. I will say this. Paul might have an issue if 2 medium tanks come in and really focus. That could be a major concern for him. Shock troops coming on in. Panzer Grenadiers going to have a lot of issues. Nice job with the anti-canister shots. Shock troops giving chase. Might be able to get the kill here. Super low. And unfortunately, shock troops do... Oh my god. Shock troops get the kill on the Panzer Grenadier. Didn't miss that one, chat. Anyway, Ostwind trying to come in after that whole ordeal. Yeah, I'm assuming it might try to use the cover of this, like, brush to try to continue to focus fire. And again, AT grenade would not be effective because it would not be enough. Second Ostwind in play, actually. Noggano going for a very interesting focus. Paul right now, engineer, is, yeah, going around grabbing additional territory. Shock troops coming in on the Pioneers. I think they're going to have to retreat once again. Yeah, although he's focusing on the one shock troops. Might have to retreat. He does. But unfortunately, all these troops have to retreat, and he was not able to get that point recaptured. AT grenade being thrown. Ostwind in for some hell. 45mm repositioning. The second one as well. The other Ostwind just got on the field. Might take 30 seconds for him to, or probably 20, for him to come on in. 45mm open fire. Vet 2. Can he kill the Ostwind before the other one shows up? Second one just did. Can you kill it? They do. And they managed to knock it out. Additional conscript back at base. The other one is recharged with its AT grenade. 45mm repositioning. Trying to focus on it. And yeah, Ostwind clearing at the engineers on left. Again, VP points slowly ticking down. Almost making it even now between Noggano and Paul. I love how Noggano last game is just like literally just taking everything like a horde. In this game, Paul is done the opposite. He stayed in one spot. He's the one hard point. It's the immovable object that you just keep trying to take, and he just will not get away from that point. Oh, but excellent moves. Anyway, once again, going for the cutoff over here. Ostwind's now down. Paul is still not teched up, by the way, so don't expect Soviet armor anytime soon. Shock troops now down. Conscripts coming in to assist. Ostwind coming around the left side with the Pioneer. Ostwind as well, firing from range. Where are they? Oh, it's all on the right. Okay. 45mm trying to hold him back. Shock troops coming on in. We do have Railway coming on in. He might try to kill the base. Grenade being thrown. Unfortunately, actually, he does get the kill. I'm surprised on that one. But yeah, he does get one of the Ostwind. Down to 4 units. Oh my god. That was a lot of dead bodies, but I'm assuming a lot of them was medics. But the building has been destroyed and the forward base removed. This is walking into it. This could be bad. Hold on. Oh no, I should have looked at the MG. Sorry. But forward base has been removed, and Paul lost quite a bit. But that being said, Noggano is still down. It's still anyone's game. Oh, nice bounce. All the dead Soviets around here, they're like, we died for this shack. We died trying to hold it for as long as possible. Really great plays, though. Seriously. Paul literally holding on by a thread and somehow managing to use that thread to choke Noggano through a good chunk of this game. Really well done. But Noggano, once again, grabs territory and continues the VP stranglehold on Paul that he did last game. Tripwire going down and going into effect. Paul now having the ability to uptick slowly but surely, hopefully getting something else. He's heading back to base for some heals, though, while additional squads coming on in. Again, right now, via veterancy and overall with units, Paul still has a small advantage, but if Noggano starts getting the fuel back, starts getting his own resources back, he will then be allowed to get his own armor that can combat it. Right now, that Ostwind is still a major threat that he must deal with with those 45 millimeters. And again, they won't deal with it as quickly as his IS-3, so he has to be very careful on how he moves his infantry around because the Osman could do some serious damage. As well, Noggano is pumping out a lot of Pack 40s, which is hilarious because he's expecting, I'm assuming, Paul to just come in with this big heavy tank. It's like, I haven't seen him for 20 minutes. He has to have a KV-2 around the corner, and that could be the farthest from the truth. But again, it's the whole mindset of this game, of how Paul has played it, that I really, really enjoy so far. Veteran C2, almost Veteran C3. Yeah, really great job. All the shock troops coming on in to assist. Conscripts holding on to that fuel on right. Meanwhile, in mid, Austrian taking the point. Conscripts coming on in with an MG, trying to stop him against an MG42. 45 millimeters are pushing back. Again, shock troops going in. And by the way, this one has 28 kills. I think the best, no, yeah, the Osman has most kills right now for Noggano with 8 kills. That's still alive. Osman being Ostrupen being pushed back. And yeah, Paul now finally getting that last building. He very well could get a KV to us. He absolutely could. But we'll see what he chooses in the near future. By the way, if you follow or something, I'll give you a shout out toward the end. Anyway, 45 millimeters coming on in to drive back the Oswin. Gotta give credit as well to Noggano. With having only 4 units left at one point, some people in this tournament I've seen surrender. He is not. He is vigilant. He is active and is definitely trying to combat the Soviets. Even on the back foot, he's still giving it his all, and I really do appreciate that. Anyway, 45 millimeters opening fire on the Oswin, driving it back. Great fire rate, by the way. Now Veteran C2 for one of them. Quickly forcing that thing back. Excellent work there. Shock troops going once again for the cutoff. That's really hitting the munitions point. Which is hilarious because, again, we know there's a teller mine right here. So it'll be hilarious if the, like, an armored unit comes out and immediately hits a teller. It'll be like Noggano's, what, at that point, you build it at, what, the 15-minute mark? It's like his 15 or 20-minute plan at that point has finally come to fruition. But anyway, moving on. Oswin getting some heals. Pack guns on defense in case Paul has armor. Do we have a new forward base? I'm actually surprised he doesn't make this a forward base. I'm really shocked that we have not seen that. T-34? Really? Okay, I did not expect a T-34. I honestly expected an S-285 or maybe... no, not Katusha. Just simply because of the fact that a T-34, while good against the Oswin, you also have to worry about what Noggano could be bringing out. In this situation, it would be a Panzer IV, as well as the double packs. So, anyway, Oswin driving back the engineers. Hopefully, they'll be able to recap the VP, which they're now being triple capped. Noggano's still just barely ahead of Paul. Again, but a good job on Paul for decapping the point. 45 millimeter going a little too close for comfort. Looking the wrong way, man. You're looking the wrong way. Oswin coming around the side, trying to get some shots, repositioning himself as well. 45 millimeters quickly repositioned. A T-grenade could be thrown, but decides not to, or maybe wasn't paying attention to that. Anyway, shock troops do go in once again for the cutoff, though VP is being captured. And T-34 is on the field. No teller mine. Good. Anyway. Oh, nope. I think he's about to make it. I think the shock troops are in that building. He's about to make a forward base. Yep. The guys, the health shack's coming back. It's coming back. T-34 going on right to push back the Ostrupen. Gets an excellent shot against them. What, is that Milam? Oh my god, hits the mine on the way out. Might get the kill here. Hold on. He's giving chase. Pack gun hits him from behind. Doesn't matter though. Gets the kill. And he's going to move on back. Pack 40s are opening fire. He's trying to get out of there in time. Half health. But looks like he'll be A-okay. That's, now he only has 2 frontline units. That's not amazing. Could be a little better. But still. Oh my god, there's a teller mine right there. Again, if infantry are just standing over it, might not be a bad idea to chuck that grenade and throw it. The T-34, someone mentioned for a ram. I could see it for a ram. If you really want to take something out. But, again, just a little curious on that. Anyway, 45 millimeters. Again, really highly vetted now. Now fighting a Panzer IV and actually doing some decent work. Shock troops grab the territory once again, cutting it off. Panzer IV missing shot against shock troops. 45 millimeter now focusing on the Panzer IV. making some more good hits while also kind of trying to focus on the Ostwind. So, you know, lots of different armored targets. That's the one thing I'll say right now. Noggano still has armor lead. He still has that supremacy. But that being said, right now Paul has done such an amazing job with his infantry. I'm just questioning if they can advance. 31 kills with that shock troop squad, by the way. Hot dang. Really great job. Medics healing them, by the way, to bring them up to full health. 45mm as well, going in for some heals. This is a situation where Noggano's like, oh, not again. I need more railway. We have a spots it. He probably didn't expect it to be right there, but glad he got the minesweeper to detect the teller mine. Anyway, shock troops grabbing left. Noggano now significantly down in VPs, and making this a very competitive match. Double Pack 40s opening fire on the T-34, driving it back. Shock troops coming on in, though, not only to push back the Pack 40s, but also take this point out, which would cut off the fuel for Noggano and stop him from getting additional forces. Ostwind trying to hit those shock troops, drops smoke, and only kills one model before then. Panzer Grenadiers on standby, moving on in. But it's such a hard fight. Because, again, they'll just go back to the heal point, and with shock troops, you're sending recruit Panzer Grenadiers against Vet 3 shock troops that have killed 31 of your men. That is a horrifying prospect. But it's something he has to combat with. Panzer 4, though, hold on. T-34 low, Panzer 4 pushing on left. They are taking back the VP to slow down the bleed a little bit. 45mm opening fire through the hedges. Panzer 4 down to a third health. Noggano trying to come back. Ostwind, I keep messing up. Ostwind pushing that back. Su-85, by the way, being developed. Again, I'm assuming to put additional pressure on the Panzer IV and such. Although, once again, the 45mm have done excellent work in that regard. Far more than I ever would give them credit for. If I first thought, oh, 45mm coming out? Alright, well, we'll see how this goes against medium armor. But no, they've worked out really, really well. Paul's no base strat at the beginning really worked. Unfortunately, Noggano didn't fall for that. Did not retreat. And, yeah, Ostwind is going to slowly drive the shock troops away. But 45mm repositioning themselves. MG now forcing Noggano back into the base. Noggano now being pressured into his base. 45mm firing at the Ostwind. Bring it down to a third health as it go into his base. Yeah, it's really astounding. Yeah, again, just excellent work by Paul on making sure to keep, like, again, a Panzer IV and Ostwind you would figure out would have a field day with some of these units, but no, they haven't really been able to do as much as they've probably been wanting to do. T-34 has gotten some good hits. Su-85 is now on the field, and again, just look at the veterancy with all of Paul's forces. You gotta give credit to Paul in that regard. He is having some top tier veterancy with his men, and keeping a decently high VP point total as well. Anyway, 45mm over here. Osttrooping trying to go in, but they just aren't damage dealers. So, again, they can escape rather fine. The only way is if they close the gap. Sometimes he's gonna kill, like with the MG, but it's been difficult. Also, like, compare the Pack 40s to, like, the 45mm here. Like, Pack 40s have done well, but, oh god, these 45mm have been so good. Anyway, what can Noggano do? Because I've giving credit. Let's talk about Noggano. Well, unfortunately, he just lost his fuel, and he's trying to get that back. So he's right now contained in his base. A breakout attempt would be the best probably idea would be to get Paul away from his base. It is in middle, so it's a little bit harder. But if you pull him away from the base, that might be able to overextend him enough to where you have this scenario where he has to retreat. That's probably one of his best bets. Grenade being thrown, Panzer Grenadiers have to retreat. And yeah, he's driven back to base with not a ton of frontline troops. That if I have to say anything, that's probably the best thing you can do. Pull Paul's forces away, destroy them if possible, and then try to continue that momentum. Or fall back, regroup, and then hit again. Not a foolproof strategy, and we can see here that Paul's not dumb. He's laying down mines just in case. But just in general, that might be it. Also, I'm surprised we haven't seen more booby traps. Because, you know, just with all this territory. Because, again, Noggano just sends men over. I'm surprised that way he doesn't just, you know, immediately ignite. But anyway, forces going on left. Not a bad idea with the brush right here. Trying to put shots. 45mm right there. Preparing for combat. Nice job hiding behind the brush. Gets around it. Gets the kill. Holy cow. Panzer IV coming around the side. AT grenade about to be thrown, though. Trying to kill this stuff. Again, picking heals. Oswin coming on in. This is the push Noggano needs. Can he succeed? They're getting heals, though. Another S-85 coming on in. Firing pop shots at the Panzer IV. Slowly weakening it down. His remaining infantry's coming on in, but the shock troops are there to hold. Nice bundle grenade. Nice grenade as well. Panzer IV very low on health. Oswin and Panzer IV trying to kill the base, but they can't. Shock troops very low on health. Retreating. Managing to get out, and both armored vehicles are KO'd. They killed the Panzer IV. A nice bundle. They just, and oh my god, super low on health. But they stayed in the fight, and Noggano calls it quits there, realizing he cannot do anything more with his armor destroyed. Great game. Holy mackerel. Fantastic game between Noggano and Paul. Paul, solid defense and really great job. You had everything against you. That's one of my favorite games of the tournament. Really, really excellent work there. And again, I think this is, I honestly think the first time I've seen urban defense used in this tournament. But by God, Paul wrote the book on how to use it, especially when you're losing. Paul was down. Noggano had him in his base, chased by a half-track. He was pretty much done for. It was going to be a 2-0 GG, but no, Paul climbed out of the pit, threw Noggano in there, and is now able to go 1-1 against Noggano next round. We'll see how Noggano does against it. Right now, it's 311 on VPs to 70. I'm unsure how that's going to play out in terms of map pick as well as faction pick, but we will have to see. There wasn't much he could have done after being trapped in his base. Yeah, I mean, like, Paul was trapped in his base. It's like, okay, what do you do? And then Noggano was also trapped in his base. Like, okay, what do you do? Unfortunately, it did not work out for Noggano, but you gotta give it to Noggano as well for trying to keep that map control for as long as he did. He had a point he could not fight in mid, but he still grabbed so much territory and continued to put pressure on Paul. That's something that has to be admired as well. So really great job to Noggano in that. Let's check the after action report to see how everyone did. Sean Phillip, thank you for the follow. By the way, regardless and Etney does things, thank you very much for the follow as well. I will play yours. So thank you very much for your overall support. The 45 is really underrated. Look, after that, I'm a believer now. I'm like, all right, 45 millimeter, you got me. You got me. All right, it's good. It's great. Anyway, Paul, 35,000 damage. Although, again, 129 kills. Technically, Noggano got more kills. 17,600 damage. That is almost half. Actually, I think that... No, that is half. That is half the damage. Holy mackerel. Just by these little AT guns. These little guys. They did so much. Really great job. He never lost them, too. He kept them alive. Really great work. Although, again, second, the shock troops. Shock troops were on point this game with their with focus. Again, really great work. Oswin trying to come in there. Ostrupin did okay, 30 kills. Oswin got but 28. A lot of Panzer Grenadiers made. But again, I don't think they just can compete with shock troops. Again, really great job to both players, though. Seriously, really awesome work. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot, and before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Milam, Joey G240, Anton, Bishara, Ion, PyroShark, Ace, and Jakub. Seriously guys, thank you so much for your amazing support, especially over the past month. Been through a lot of personal hurdles, but you guys make it a little easier knowing that you guys support me. And same thing with the patrons down below. This has been Greyshot17 and his amazing patrons, and I'll see all of you next time.